Will everyone take your seats? Good evening. My name is Rita Davis, the Vice President of Voter Services for the League of Women Voters of Plainfield. On behalf of the League, I'm pleased to welcome you to the Mayoral and 4th Ward City Council Candidates Forum. The League's partners presenting these forums is Capital to Plainfield, represented by David Weatherford. David, we value your nonpartisan participation and greatly appreciate your support. The League of Women Voters is a trusted membership organization that encourages informed and active participation in government. The League never supports or opposes candidates for office or political parties. Any use of the League name or footage from this forum in campaign materials, literature, or advertising of any kind, including internet, cable, or television, has not been authorized by the League of Women Voters and is not permitted. The moderator for the forums is Tony Zimmer. Tony is currently a member of the League of Women Voters United States Nominating Committee, responsible for proposing the slate of officers and directors for the League of Women Voters U.S. She was an executive committee member of the League of Women Voters U.S. Board of Directors, an education fund board of trustees from 2016 to 2022. She served as president of the League of Women Voters of New Jersey from 2011 to 2015, and has been a member of the League of Women Voters of Sussex Highlands in northern New Jersey since 2007. Tony is a member of the League of Women Voters of New Jersey Moderators Group, training members to become certified moderators in New Jersey. She travels throughout the state to support local leagues and other organizations by moderating candidate forums. She resides in Sparta, New Jersey with her husband, Max. Tony, thank you for moderating our forums.
Thank you. Thank you, Rita. It's an honor to be here this evening and to meet the candidates and to see how many of you are interested in coming out to hear what they have to say. So, before we get started, I'd like to ask everyone to please silence your cell phones. If you must use them, to please go outside and use them. That way we won't have any interruptions. And before we came out here, we had a private meeting in the green room with the candidates. And what we did back there was we chose the order for each of them to make their opening and closing statements. And we discussed the rules of the debates. We took 2 minutes for opening statements, 90 seconds for each question, and 2 minutes for the closing statements. And the way that they're seated is the way that their names appear on the ballot. And the way that their names appear on those 10 cards in front of them is the way they appear on the ballot. So, in front of me directly, if you ladies could raise your hands, we have our timekeepers. The timekeepers, League of Women Voters members who are specially trained to timekeep, and they're also moderator trainees. So they really know what they're doing. So they're going to be helping the candidates keep track of how much time they have left for each question by holding up signs. If you could give us some examples so that the candidates can see the signs. That means you have 30 seconds remaining. And 15 seconds remaining. And stop. And if you don't understand that one, I'll make sure that you understand what it means. So hopefully it won't happen. But it happens sometimes. All right, that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to start with our council candidates. All right? And this is the way that we're going to do it. The opening statements are as follows. Mrs. Briggs-Jones, Terry Briggs-Jones, will begin her opening statement with 2 minutes. Yes.
Good evening. Members of the League of Women Voters, the esteemed constituents, and the extended family of Plainfield, Mayor Matt, and Councilman White, and this is Bridget Rivers. My name is Terry Briggs Jones, and I'm a lifelong resident of Plainfield's 4th Ward. I grew up here, graduated from Plainfield High School in 1982. My academic background includes business management, studies at Fairleigh Dickinson University. For the past 33 years, I've been a dedicated employee of the Piscataway Board of Education. In my 3.5 years as 4th Ward Councilwoman, I strive to demonstrate that my community service and responsiveness to your needs are invaluable assets to our city. I'm also a proud member of the local NAACP, the Plainfield Anti-Violence Coalition, and the MRS Club, which provides scholarships exclusively to Plainfield residents. Being part of these organizations and serving my community brings me immense joy, knowing that our residents directly benefit. As I continue on this journey, I recognize the progress Plainfield has made. However, there's still significant work ahead. While we see new apartments and homes being built, we must intensify our efforts to address persistent housing shortage and the critical need for affordable housing. We deserve development that genuinely benefits our residents. We need a Plainfield that inspires our pride and a government that earns our unwavering trust. I am seeking re-election for 4th Ward, Row 1F, election day is June 10, 2025. I believe my record speaks for itself, and I ask you to vote to serve our community.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to ask you in the future to please hold your applause. I should have mentioned that before, until after they both finish. Okay?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here for this important and honest debate. I am Bridget Rivers, and I have had the privilege of serving our great city of Plainfield for several years in several key roles. My journey in public service began with the Plainfield School District, where I worked alongside the superintendent to give our teachers the tools they need to help every student. During my tenure, we established POPs, one of the top performing schools in New Jersey. As a member of the Finance and Negotiation Committee, I helped secure one of the strongest teachers' contracts focused on student achievement. We also implemented a school uniform policy to reduce bullying and promote equality. For families in need, we provided the resources to ensure every child had success in their uniforms, because no student should be left behind due to financial burden. On the City Council, I led efforts to protect neglected animals in the community. The ordinance I introduced was recognized statewide, and it also appeared in the League of Municipalities magazine. Now I'm ready to bring the same leadership and dedication to the 4th Ward. Our community needs strong, experienced voices and understand how to get things done, and I'm prepared to do just that. I am going to be the bridge that's going to bring the community to the city and the city to the community. On June 10th, I ask for your vote. Vote Bridget Rivers for 4th Ward Councilwoman, leadership that matters in times like these.
Thank you. Okay, and now we're going to start with our questions. And the first question will be presented to Mrs. Briggs Jones. What are your top 2 priorities that you plan to address if you are elected to City Council, and why?
My top 2 priorities, first of all, is to continue to collaborate and to clean our city. We have an issue that is going on. We have and we are going to continue to address the issue, to collaborate with DPW, which is doing a fantastic job, but we also need our residents to be taken care of, because what's happening is we have a problem with illegal dumping, we have a problem with, with keeping our ward clean down here on the 4th ward, and it's important to me. And not only that, I just feel that when I did come on as councilwoman, one of the things I did do is I brought about the DPW to address these needs. I got right on it right away. There was no hesitation or anything. I got right on it. They were very responsive to me, and I also was collaborating with inspections as well. So I believe that we can continue to do this and to make sure that our ward here down the 4th ward is cleaned up, and we continue to move forward. And then also the communication is a very, very important thing also as well. So when you collaborate, you have to communicate with your constituents.
And thank you. Ms. Bridget Rivers, you want me to repeat the question for you?
My top 2 priorities is to address the homelessness. I believe that there is a job on the books that someone can be hired to address this issue. So day one, I'm going to make sure that that position is filled with our mayor and the rest of the staff, so that we can address this homelessness in its entirety, because it's out there and it needs to be addressed. The next thing I want to address is affordable housing. Affordable housing is extremely important. So we have, with affordable housing, you have a top tier, you have a middle tier, and you have a lower tier. So we got to really create some affordable housing for our lower class. Thank you.
Ms. Bridget Rivers, this one is for you now again, okay? What do you specifically plan to do to protect historic properties that are threatened by redevelopment?
That's a great question. We have to do a needs assessment first and see if there's a need to redevelop in those areas, and see if we can find grants to try to save those properties that are historically for Plainfield. I'm born and raised here. At the time when I was born and raised, there was a lot going on. I'm straight from Joanne Hollis Gardens, which was known as Elm West. There was a lot going on in Elm West, but we were able to create jobs through our housing, and we're going to continue to address the needs of those people, and we're going to continue to address the needs of our historic properties, because those are very important. Because the historical properties need to be there so that we can take people around. We're doing a tour of the city, so we're going to have to tour those historical properties and make sure they understand why those properties are there.
Thank you. Mrs. Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Sure. What do you specifically plan to do to protect historic properties that are threatened by development?
First of all, what we need to do is, again, to collaborate with developers. We need to seek out that the proper developers that are going to come in and bring the apartments here. Now, let's just back up for a second. First of all, there's a housing shortage all over the country. And what has happened is, Plainfield also, we have apartments that are being built here, which is not a problem. But we have to have sensible development. What does that mean? We have to make sure that our residents can afford these apartments. We got to make sure that they can stay in them. We have to also be concerned about density. We have to also be concerned about how many apartments will be built also as well, because you're talking about schooling also as well. Now what that has to do with is the schools district also as well. So that density is very, very important. But again, we have to make sure that these apartments are affordable for these parents, for these constituents, those that will be moving in, and we have to make it attractive to people also as well. Again, the apartments that we have now that has been built, they're doing a great job, but just to say it, we have to make sure that we do some sensible building and developments. It's very important.
Okay, Mrs. Briggs-Jones again. Do you believe council adequately supports codes and ordinances? Do you believe that council adequately supports codes and ordinances? If not, please explain how you would work to change the current practices.
Absolutely, they have to do with code. And let me tell you, code enforcement is important also as well. You know, I know that we have an issue with a lot of people living in the houses, and that's fine. What happens is with that, sometimes people are economically at a disadvantage, so they can't help to be where they're living at. But however, it is very important that we have these ordinances. It's important that we put these ordinances also on these landlords as well. We have an issue with that. These landlords just don't want to address taking care of their properties, and that is a real big issue with us. So absolutely, that we're going to carry out the ordinance. We're going to make sure that the code enforcement is at its all-time high. And again, we as council people have to collaborate with them, come together, put our heads together, and try to resolve this issue.
Thank you. Ms. Rivers?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. Do you believe that council adequately supports codes and ordinances? If not, please explain how you would work to change the current practices.
Well, I believe that the council adequately supports the codes that are on the books. I believe that they are supporting the administration to make sure that they're following the codes that are on the books. Yes, I adequately believe that they do support the codes that are on the books.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this next one is for you, Ms. Rivers. Okay, how do you propose to make streets safer by addressing speeding, illegal street vehicles, and excessive vehicle noise during early morning hours?
It's a great question. Because in my canvassing, that's one of the biggest issues you have in motorbikes and the cars speeding down the streets. So what I would propose through the administration, through the mayor, with my other colleagues, is that we put police officers in certain spots so that we can address those issues. That's the only way we're going to be able to address it, because the minute the police officer leaves, they get back to doing the same thing. And it's unfair to the residents that have to get up very early in the morning to hear the screeching and the motorbikes riding up and down the street. So yes, I would definitely be in support of the police officers to stop the speeding and the noises that are going on in the community.
Okay, Mrs. Bridgestone?
Repeat the question, please.
Sure. How do you propose to make streets safer by addressing speeding, illegal street vehicles, and excessive vehicle noise during early morning hours?
First of all, I will say that the streets are safer, thanks to our police department, thanks to also, we have voted on those four-way stops, which has been a real big help also as well. So those things that has taken place, that is a big deal. It really has. With those speed bumps, that is a big deal. That helped also as well to slow down the traffic. These street sweepers, they have to come through also as well, and we have to make sure that they're safe as well. And as far as the bikes coming through here, there is an ordinance in place. There's an ordinance in place, and what has to happen is we have to continue to stay in a certain place so that we can seek out these guys or women, whoever is riding these bikes, because it really is unsafe what they're doing. I mean, they're doing wheelies at night, late at night, in the morning, and it's not fair to the residents, especially when you have residents that are working overnight. It's not fair to them. So yes, there is an ordinance in place, and I do know that I've seen the cops out there. Thank God for them. They have been enforcing it as well.
Thank you. Mrs. Bruce-Jones, if elected, how will you work toward a method that ensures questions from the public posed during the meetings are answered immediately or within 3 business days? If council leadership refuses to permit a public response to questions, what would your next step be?
Well, if we can't come to a conclusion or an agreement in 3 days, what we're going to have to do is come together and sit at the table. sit at the table and collaborate together with myself and my council colleagues, as well as administration, to see what we can come up with to address what issues that we have. Yes, sometimes you're going to agree to disagree, you're going to disagree to agree. Everything is not going to always be right. That's why it's important to have your own mind, but you bring your own mind and you bring your ideas and you collaborate with your council colleagues so that we get some things done. Absolutely. If we can't get these things done, we just have to go back to the table and let's see how we can come up with the best answer, the best solution, so that way we can get these things done.
Our constituents they're the ones that put us in office. So if they have some questions, it's important that the administration, which I've seen them do, answer their questions in a sufficient amount of time. 3 days is too long. Administration is very seasoned in what they do. That's what they get paid for. So if a constituent have a question, it should be answered immediately. And that's what I would propose as a council.
Okay, excuse me. Mrs. Briggs Jones, excuse me, little frog in my throat there. If elected, how will you work toward a method that ensures questions from the public posed during meetings are answered immediately? Oh, I'm so sorry. How will you work with the mayor's office to uphold the budget to meet the needs of Plainfield residents?
First of all, we have to see, when we do look at the budget, we have to see where the money is needed. Where the money is needed most. And what we have to do is we have to address that. So what happens is we will collaborate together, myself and my council colleagues, as well as the mayor's office and the directors that are in place. We have to see what and how we can meet the needs of our constituents, what the needs that we need in our city, what we need to do and how we need to address these things that is needed at this time. Yes, that's it.
Okay. Ms. Rivers.
In my memory serves me, I believe that the administration presents the budget with the mayor to the council. And then the council creates I believe it's a budget committee, I don't know if it's still done the same. And with the budget committee, they're going to inform the council members what needs, what each department needs. And then at that time, we trust our budget committee, we trust our administration, we trust our mayor, so that the needs of each department is met. And all we have to do at that point is vote on it.
Okay. Mrs. Briggs Jones, how do you plan to organize the culture? Pardon me?
Supposed to start first.
Pardon me?
She started the next question.
Well,
Oh, that's okay.
because of what happened
It's
before.
okay. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, let's do that now. How do you plan to organize the culturally diverse members of our community so that they work harmoniously to keep Plainfield a great place to live?
It's a great question. One of the things that I plan to do is educate the mindset of the residents of Plainfield. And how do I do that? You must change the mindset. You must bring the people to the city and take the city back to the people. That's the only way we're going to bring this thing together as one. Plainfield is a great city to live in. As I stated, I've been born and raised here all my life. Been here all my life. Moved out when I got married, but I came back. And I'm here to stay. And until we become as one and stop the negativity and all these hateful lies, we're never going to be as one Plainfield, one future. We must educate the people. The residents are lacking communication. We must communicate to these residents. And that's the only way this job is going to get done.
Okay. Mrs. Briggs Jones.
Yes. All right, so what we would have to do again, we have to collaborate with all cultures here. There's all cultures here. We need to sit down at the table with them, see what their needs are. It doesn't matter who it is. Every culture lives here. So what has to happen is, you might have, say we have the Latino community. we need to make sure that we have things in the language so that they will understand. If you have someone else, maybe this is Italian, maybe we should address it with the language that they speak. But also, one of the main things that needs to happen that I see is we need to also address our constituents and show them how politics work. Let them know how the governing body works. Let them know how the branches work. If you have you have the judiciary, you have the legislative, and you have the executive branch. They need to know how it works and how it works in their everyday life. Because their day-to-day life, some cultures don't even know how it works. And I know when I was out there canvassing, I was talking to a few people, they didn't know this, and they didn't know who was this. And I made sure that I introduced myself and reintroduced myself to let them know that I'm here for you. And you are here for me. And I work for you. You don't work for me. When you elect me in, you are my boss. But we come together and make it happen, no matter what culture it is.
Ms. Rivers, can you speak up a little?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it was over too long. They couldn't get you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Mrs. Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Give 3 reasons Plainfield residents should vote for you in the upcoming election.
Okay. First of all, you should vote for me because my leadership skills is on point. I address the needs of my constituents. I'm here for them. I'm very transparent. I try to, and I will say, I do try to get back to them 24 to 48 hours. I'm always in hands reach, always. If you call me, I'm there for you. I will definitely address it. The second thing is the reason why you should vote for me, because my work speaks for itself. You can ask around and ask my constituents. If they don't know me, believe me, I'll get to know them. But it's very important that they know that, with my leadership skills, that's what I want to say, with my leadership skills, it has taken me to a lot of places to address the needs and to also address the needs of my constituents. The third thing is because I have a very good relationship with the administration. I have a very good relationship with those that are in office, the mayor and everyone else. I am a genuine person. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean, and I deliver. Because leadership delivers with me, and I have progress that lasts.
Ms. Rivers, can you give 3 reasons?
Strong, effective leadership, experienced leadership, and community-based leadership.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Rivers, what have you done over the last 4 years? Tell us 5 major accomplishments, if you can.
What have I done over the last 5 years? That's a big question. The last 4 years in Plainfield?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I've done over the last 4 years in Plainfield, I've done all types of backpack drives, Christmas giveaways, feeding the seniors, out there in the community, basketball tournaments, to name a few.
What I've done in the last 4 years, and let me just tell you, this is one of the things that was near and dear to me. I started the gun violence walk because my brother was actually killed in '93. So I started the gun violence walk. As a matter of fact, I'm coming up on my 3rd years right now. I gave coats and socks and all those things to families that were in the cold on Thanksgiving. I helped 3 families that was in a fire. when I first got in office, 3 weeks afterward, 2004, and just recently, one of my parents. Also, I got some streets paved from residents that asked me about that. I also collaborated with the church that did Cold Blue. I volunteer at the pantry. I pick up seniors. I bring the seniors to the pantry. Also, I'm also even a proxy for one of the seniors because sometimes she's not feeling well. Also, did the women's mental health advocate, a forum for that also as well. I also volunteered. Oh no, that's not what I want to say. I'm sorry. I also collaborated with the Alphas. They adopted the block right on my block. I did that also as well. And in Richmond Towers, one day they had a carbon monoxide scare, and I had to make sure that I come see about my seniors. Got up out of my bed, in my pajamas.
All right. Ready? The floor has been called. Did you? Yeah.
It's ringing. It's ringing.
The floor has been called the Forgotten Ward. What will you do to change the perception?
Great question. The fourth word is not forgotten. The fourth word is on the rise. One thing that we have to do, again, as I stated in the past and previously, is we have to educate the mindset of the residents of the fourth ward. We must change that mindset. We must bring the people to the city and take the city to the people. If there's a concern or a need, bring it to your council person so that it can be addressed. It will never be forgotten in the long run.
Wow, that's good. That's definitely a great question because that was what I ran on. That was my slogan, the Forgotten Ward. When I ran, I won the seat. And let me tell you, when I said one of the things that I was going to do is as soon as I get into office, I'm going to make sure that we get these street signs up. And now, today, it's probably over 100-something street signs. I got a lot of them put up in the fourth ward. And I'm like, what the heck happened? Listen, I'm not here to play the blame game. I'm here to collaborate. I'm here because I'm a team player, and I want to make sure that my wards is taken care of. But you know what? Also, not only the fourth ward, I want to bring all the wards together. They're just, sometimes when you get past a certain area, you be like, oh, this is the fourth ward? Wait a minute, that's the second ward? No, we want all the wards to look the same. We want all the wards cleaned up. We want all the wards collaborate together. No, we're not forgotten. What I want to do is I'm going to continue to work and continue what I need to do to make it happen so we can continue to straighten that crown.
Okay. Now this is the last question before you give your closing statements. Okay, so Mrs. Brigg Jones, this is for you first. Tell me 5 initiatives that you partnered with the City Council or administration.
5 initiatives? Okay, so 5 initiatives, okay. All right. Okay, again, we're going to go back to those street signs. So I collaborated, I don't know if you're talking about an individual per se, but I did the street signs. Also, I collaborated with the Salvation Army also. And I totally forgot about them. I can't forget about them. The Salvation Army also as well. I collaborated with the pantry because I just thought that was very, very important. And I also volunteer down there as well. I go down there whenever they have the food giveaway. I go down there also as well. I also collaborated with the seniors. And I even joined the seniors because I just thought it was important that they can see, yes, I'm a senior and I'm proud of it, but I just believe that sometimes you can bring hope to our seniors also as well. So I also collaborate with the seniors as well.
Okay. Could you tell us 5 initiatives?
That collaborated with the administration? I'm sorry, repeat the question?
Yeah, well, sure. 5 initiatives that you partnered with the city council or administration.
Well, now, I'm not sitting on the city council, but I have partnered with the city council to do my backpack drives, to do my Christmas drives, to do some of my Thanksgiving giveaways. At that, I have collaborated with different council people to support those initiatives.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that's the end of the question period. Now we're going to go for the closing statements, and as they were chosen, Mrs. Brooke Jones.
That's right. Amen. Okay. Again, thank you, League of Women Voters, for hosting this vital debate. To my family, friends, supporters, and fellow constituents, also our lovely moderator, thank you, Ms. Tony. It has been an honor to participate. These forums are essential, allowing voters to see us, to understand our vision, and to witness how we address the critical issues facing our community. Tonight you've heard the candidates, and now I urge you to carefully consider who will best represent the interests and lead Plainfield's 4th Ward. I've demonstrated my dedication, my experience, and unwavering commitment to our city. I ask for your vote, not just for me, but for a stronger, more vibrant Plainfield. Let's continue this journey together, building a future where every resident thrives. Vote and re-elect Terry Briggs Jones for the 4th Ward Councilwoman, line 1F, and let's make that vision a reality.
Thank you. Ms. Rivers.
Again, I want to thank everyone for coming out to hearing this honest and open debate. I was put here for such a time like this. I am going to bridge the community of the 4th Ward with our administration and our mayor. It's time for us to stand up for the 4th Ward and do things and get the needs of the 4th Ward addressed. It's a lot going on down there. Unfortunately, I wasn't around for a minute, but in my canvassing, it hurts my heart. So again, vote Bridget Rivers, City Council of the 4th Ward, and I promise you, you will not go wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Please give them a nice round of applause. Okay, everybody, you may need to take a little break. So if you want to, go ahead, and we'll be starting sharply at 8.
dripping while the council. It was a panda.
Because then I'm looking up at him. I mean, I'm not.
But if you do it like this, you're only going to get the candidate that's in here.
No, I get them all. I get all three.
This one too. 63? 43?
podium, or at their seats on the stage.
Testing 1, 2.
I already fixed it once.
Thank you again for attending. And we're very excited to present the two candidates for mayor. And we chose the lots, and Mr. Matt will be the first one to give this opening statement. Mr. Matt?
Well, good evening, all. I came into office several years ago with a vision of transformation for the city of Plainfield. When I took office, the city was in a very dark place. Everyone was passing us by. Developers were going to the other towns. And they were not stopping at Plainfield because of the reputation that we've had about being a very difficult place in which to do business. And I came into office, and I surrounded myself with a group of individuals who, for my cabinet, they know what needs to be done and how to get it done. And we were able to embark on a marketing and promotional campaign that saw people flock into our city. Investors who, as of today, have invested close to $2 billion in our city of Plainfield. We've transformed all of our recreational spaces. We have driven crime down by about 52%. We have done so much. We have paved 68% of our roads. And although the utility companies are currently cutting into our roads, they will resurface all of these roads to the state and condition that they were in prior to those cuts. And we will continue to move Plainfield forward. We will make sure that we pave every street in this city during my tenure. And not only that, if you look at these different recreational spaces, such as the Rushmore Recreational Complex, where we're going to cut the ribbon in a couple of weeks, if you look at the fact that we have acquired the former YMCA and we're going to be transforming that into a recreational center of excellence. We've provided services to all of our residents, and we've taken care of our seniors, we've taken care of our young people, and we've done everything we can to make sure that Plainfield is a vibrant place where we are attracting people from all across the state. People are coming into Plainfield to enjoy our quality of life. And we have made Plainfield a place that is inviting and welcoming to all, and so people are coming here. And I want to continue as your mayor to continue the progress that we have started.
Thank you. Mr. Wyatt?
Good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to thank my family and friends for the sacrifices that they have made. Also, the entire Team Wyatt team, every day knocking on doors, small grassroots campaign. Secondly, I would like to thank the League of Women Voters for using their platform to strengthen our democracy through voter registration and education. I would also like to thank Tap Into Plainfield for sponsoring this important forum and giving us a space to engage directly with the people we serve. I am Councilman Richard Wyatt, a proud son of Plainfield, born at Millenburg Hospital, raised in the city and deeply rooted in every ward. I'm not here tonight as a public official. I'm here as someone shaped by this community, who walked the streets as a child, attended his public schools, and now raises a family right here. As a young man, I remember a time when there was a strong sense of community in Plainfield. Neighbors looked out for one another. There was unity, not division, pride, not fear. That spirit has been fading, and it's time we brought it back. I'm running for mayor because Plainfield deserves leadership that shows up, not just during election season, but every single day. Leadership that is honest, transparent, and focused on results, not political gains. Whether you lived in Plainfield for 50 years or just 5 weeks, you deserve a government that listens, a mayor who works for you, and a future that feels hopeful. I will not govern with fear. I will not be disingenuous or nefarious. Every decision I make will be rooted in integrity and guided by one core principle: putting Plainfield first. Above ego, above politics, and above personal gain. Because Plainfield isn't just where I live, it's who I am. And I believe our best days are still ahead of us. With bold leadership, renewed vision, a real commitment to community, we can rebuild trust, restore pride, and reimagine what's possible. I'm ready to lead, I'm ready to serve, and I'm ready to put Plainfield first every single day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wyatt.
Give your phone to someone, I appreciate it. If you have your phones up there, thank you. I'll take it. Thank you.
Okay, we'll start with the questions now. The first question will be for you, Mr. Matt. We'll start with you. Given the unstable immigrant environment nationwide, as mayor, what specific steps would you take to ensure undocumented residents feel safe accessing city services?
Well, I am very clear on my position as it relates to the immigrant community. We know that the immigrant community has been under attack by the administration in Washington. And so we have taken steps. We have made sure that our Plainfield PD understands that we are not working with the federal government. And there's a saying, we don't play nice with us. And so I can assure you that as we go forward, I will stand with every elected member of the state delegation in Washington, D.C., and with others who care about the immigrant community, and I will make sure that we pursue policies and that we put measures in place to protect the immigrant community from the assault that the immigrant community has been feeling from Washington. And this is something that is very near and dear to me. This is a nation of immigrants. You can tell from my accent that I wasn't born here. I chose Plainfield, and then Plainfield chose me. And I don't have to be born here in order to contribute here and to make a difference in this community. And so I want you to know, as my constituents, that I will continue to work with each and every one of you, and I will look out for the interests of every person that lives here in the city, and immigrants know that they will be protected by my administration.
Thank you, Mr. Matt. Mr. Wyatt, at any time, if you need me to repeat the question, please just...
Okay, no problem. As mayor, I will stand up against Trump and his mass deportation plan. I will not support policies that target tearing up families. Never would support that, whether it's the war on drugs, or speaking directly about the immigrants in the city of Plainfield. I will also not just stop at resistance. We will work together with the Plainfield Action Services, national organizations, ACLU, to make sure that we have organizations come together and say, you know what, we're going to set up programs to make sure that the immigrants become legal. So that's what I will do, and I will continue to do, stand with all of our neighbors here. I have people on our team that are immigrants as well. So speaking to the immigrant population, we have to take a step back, find out exactly what their needs are, make sure that they are comfortable, put things in place to make sure that they receive citizenship when that time comes, but first of all, making sure that they remain legal here in the city of Plainfield.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wyatt, how would you safeguard Plainfield's vulnerable residents from funding reductions in housing, education, and healthcare?
Great question. So what I would do is work with all stakeholders. For instance, the reality of the situation is we do not do that now. We do not work with our school system. We do not work with those that are most vulnerable, our homeless population. We strip all of those things away. So we may not have the funding, but there are nonprofits and organizations that do. They deserve a seat at the table. If you just ride across town today, seeing people coming up to cars and asking for money, not because they want to, because they don't have any resources, and the city has not been a partner for many years. So making sure that we have all stakeholders at the table, hear and address their concerns, and work together to make sure that we can solve any of their issues that they have.
Thank you. Mr. Matt?
Can you please repeat the question?
Sure. How do you safeguard Plainfield's vulnerable residents from funding reductions in housing, education, and healthcare?
Well, first of all, I think it's important using relationships at the county, state, and federal level to make sure that we have the resources in Plainfield in order to provide the kinds of social programs that are necessary to provide for those who might not be able to provide for themselves. And in Plainfield, we have created the Office of Homelessness Prevention so that people who need resources and services are able to come to City Hall and access those services. And we will not spare a dime in order to make sure that we provide assistance to people who need it the most. And we stand on that promise, and we will make sure that as people are in need and they come to the Plainfield Action Services, they come to the Senior Center, they come to my office in City Hall, that we will be available and we will stand firm and stand with those who are in need of assistance, and we will work with social service agencies and other partners at the county, state, and federal level in order to amass the resources that people who are vulnerable need so that their needs can be taken care of, and that they wouldn't have to necessarily be concerned about not having a resource when they need it, so that they can be protected and they can meet some of their needs. And we will work to make sure that that partnership with state and federal agencies and the county agencies.
Thank you. So, Mr. Knapp, what revenue or partnership strategies would you pursue to maintain critical services if federal funds are no longer available?
Say that last part.
What revenue or partnership strategies would you pursue to maintain critical services if federal funds are no longer available?
Well, it is extremely important that partnerships exist at every level of government. And it is very important that any leader has reached beyond the local municipality. And I am fortunate to have established relationships at every level of government. And whether there are resources available at the federal level or not, I will make sure that I continue to exploit those partnerships that we have established at the county and state level, so that we can continue to receive resources. And by exploiting, I mean that you have got to do everything you possibly can to access those resources and to use those relationships that you have so that resources will continue to flow. One of the ways that we've been able to pave so many of our streets, to rebuild our infrastructure, to have broadband across the entire city is because of relationships and because we've been able to access resources for the benefit of the entire community, whether it's paving roads, whether it's installing broadband internet services across the entire city, in every park, in every building that's owned by the city, at the pedestrian plaza. We will continue to do that in partnership with the county and state, whether or not Washington chooses to cooperate.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wyatt?
Yes, can you repeat the question?
Sure. What revenue or partnership strategies would you pursue to maintain critical services if federal funds are no longer available?
If the federal funds are no longer available, one, right now, if you look across the city of Plainfield, we have overdevelopment. So creating a partnership with the developers and making sure that the community benefits agreement is being paid to the city. So they're supposed to invest in our city. So if the funding is cut from the federal level, and we have relationships at the table right now with developers. We talked about resources for the most vulnerable, and we could. 12 years, we have a record of us not doing that. 12 years, we had the population of the homeless population has continued to grow within our city. 12 years, many of the people feel unseen and unheard. So we talk about resources, and we're going to work with the resources and collaborate with the county and state level. It's good for a photo op, but the citizens and residents here in the city of Plainfield do not feel it.
Next question is for you again, Mr. Wyatt. Regarding the new building developments, how do you plan to address the overcrowding in Plainfield schools?
Thank you. It's a lady for me. Okay. So yeah, so as you can see, for many of years, there's been overdevelopment within our city. So the administration sits down and negotiates each deal. They cut out the school system, so none of that money that comes in comes to the school system. We did a study that says there's a 0% impact on the school district. However, if you ride past the apartments, you will see there's little bikes outside, there's children running in. If you just pay attention to the schools, you will see that they are busting at the seams. The city needs to renegotiate. One, do a forensic audit. In Jersey City, they did a forensic audit and said, you know what? We're missing $250 million because we are giving away 30-year tax incentives to developers. So they changed the policy. As mayor, I will do the same thing, making sure that all of our people within the city of Plainfield, when we have this new development come in, we will not prioritize the developers and make sure that we are prioritizing the residents here in the city of Plainfield. Another thing that we can do, if you just take a look, renegotiate these contracts. 95% of the money goes to the city, but I see people walking around with shirts that say 0% tax raises. What are you doing for the children? What are you doing for the future? When the school system is saying, we need money, we need to raise taxes, we don't want to, but the city says, that's your fault, that's your fault, that's your fault. Take accountability. If you have the resources, then guess what? You have the relationships, and make sure that the schools are funded properly.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
You just heard from someone who was the president of the Board of Education and who has presided over a system that now has a graduation rate of roughly 67 or so %. And the school district gets every dime that it needs from the city in order to balance its budget. The school district sends what is known as a Form A4F to the city of Plainfield. You can call it an invoice. And whatever the district needs in order to balance its budget, they send us that bill, and we send them 100% of the funds they need in order to balance the budget. And so there's this notion that the school district isn't getting what it needs. But that is totally false. I must also mention that the school district population has been declining. It is now 8,700 students. And even at that number, it still doesn't have the facilities to accommodate those 8,700. Mind you, 3,200 students go to charter schools. What would the district do if those 3,200 students were in the district? And no district should expect to receive funds for students that is not educated. The money follows the child. And that makes sense, perfect sense. And so to claim that the school district is not receiving money from pilots is totally false. The school district receives what it requests, what it needs, and we send them a check.
Okay, yes, thank you. I have time for rebuttal. Yes, Mayor Matt, can you please not stand in front of the people who are a leader of this community? You have been trusted to lead this community. Do not sit up here and say that the school district gets exactly what they need from the city. If that's the case, it's been in the newspapers. It's been almost national news. The Plainfield Public School District saying they need $9 million for their budget. I saw sweatshirts printed right after that saying, our taxes are 0%. The school is going to raise the taxes 36%. So if we're receiving all this money from the college, and talk about charter schools as well, the charter schools, $67 million of the Plainfield Public School District goes directly to the charter schools. And what do? You have relationships with them. Check the ELEC form, because they contribute to you as well. We have 5 charter schools in Union County. All 5 are right here in the city of Plainfield. All 5. So for you to say, I have 3 children, I have 1 in elementary, 1 in middle school, and 1 in Plainfield High School. I mentor these kids as well. So for you to sit back and say, we're not going to pay for a fellow school district, do you know what as a leader of this community, do you know what that says to the kids that are here?
Clearly, you don't understand budgeting. Because the school district puts together a budget. It puts together a budget for $300+ million. I have lobbied, and I have been responsible for bringing millions of dollars from the state into the school district. And the school district, after putting together its budget, it then decides the difference is X, and it sends that bill for X to the city of Plainfield. And the city of Plainfield, under state law, has an obligation to provide X to the school district. And why would the school district expect to keep the $67 million that is needed to educate 3,200 students
Okay,
that are
Mr.
in charge
Matt,
schools?
Mr.
The
Matt.
money follows the child.
Mr. Matt, thank you. Okay? This is why we're not having a rebuttal forum tonight, because
He started it.
And I'm finished with this.
This is, Mr. Wyatt. Okay, everyone, come on. Mr. Wyatt, this is a two-part question, all right? Plainfield has seen an increase in the pilot programs. The pilot programs are payment in lieu of taxes, in case someone needs to know that. All right, Plainfield has seen an increase in the pilot programs for new development. One, how have they benefited the city? And two, what is your plan to provide the city with financial benefits without burdening residents with the loss of tax revenue?
Okay, can you repeat the question for me?
Sure.
Yeah, Mr. Clerk.
Plainfield has seen an increase in the pilot programs for new development. How have they benefited the city? That's the first part. Second part, what's your plan to provide the city with financial benefits without burdening residents with this loss of tax revenue?
Okay. Yes, as you can see, as you ride through South Avenue, North Avenue, the 500 units coming on West Front Street, Geo Kellers, everywhere. Pilot, we're giving our pilots, like this is the Oprah show. You get a pilot, you get a pilot, you get a pilot. What did the city get in return for that? Growth. It is growth. Growth is good. But what are, besides the growth of people moving in, a nice building, you don't get anything in return. So if you look at the community benefits, the CDA, just right now, it's just stated, excuse me, I'm talking, if that's okay. Can we not be rude to one another? The CDA, $3.5 million is what they said they collected. Nowhere in the budget, it doesn't show where that $3.5 million went, or how that money is being allocated. So transparency is not happening here. And the pilot program, sorry, what was the second part as well?
The second one is, what is your plan to provide the city with financial benefits without burdening the residents with the loss of taxes?
Okay, yeah, so I was taught as a child to, before you start inviting people over, you had to clean up. So if you ride through our downtown, I speak on this all the time, revitalizing our downtown. We need businesses here in the city of Plainfield. We don't have enough ratables, so this is the tax base, and the homeowners are the ones that's paying the tax base. So until we say, you know what, we're going to be serious about growing our Plainfield business community, then we will continue down the same route. So one of the plans that I have in place as mayor will be to create a business resource center. One of the business resource center will create workshops, coaching, and marketing as well, marketing tools for our local entrepreneurs to make sure that we have businesses here in the city of Plainfield. Talk to the business owners in Plainfield and ask them to do a short-term lease agreements rather than long-term agreements so we can attract new businesses here in the city of Plainfield.
Thank you. Mr. Matt?
Yeah, what was the question again?
Sure. Plainfield has seen an increase in the pilot programs for new development. How have they benefited the city? And what is your plan to provide the city with financial benefits without burdening residents with the loss of the tax revenue?
That question, there's a false premise. There's no burdening the taxpayers from lost revenues. Pilots generate significantly more revenues than conventional taxes. If we were not developing those vacant and lighted spaces, take one specific example, where the city, over 30 years, if we did nothing, would have collected about $1.3 million in taxes over the 30 years. With the development, the city would collect roughly $30 million in pilot revenues. All of it going to stabilize taxes, to have property owners keep their monies in their pockets. we have close to $4 million of public revenues in the budget. And that has allowed us to introduce a budget with a 0% tax increase. And even better than that, there's a reduction in the tax rate. So the idea that there's lost revenues is totally false. We have multiplied the revenues coming to the city as a result of pilots. And people who say differently don't understand pilots. They don't understand conventional taxes. And my opponent, Councilman Wyatt, is very fond of spreading these false notions about pilots and the citizens losing revenues. That is false.
Okay, thank you. All right. Mr. Matt, here's another question for you. What can your administration do in the future to prevent mass evictions from apartments, like the ones we've seen in the past couple of years?
Well, there are certainly two things that we can do. One is that in New Jersey, there's a shortage of 220,000 housing units. This is the reason why it is so critically important to have these reinvestments in the city with commercial and residential mixed-use projects so as to provide housing. Because it is important. People need a place to call home. They need housing. There's no overdevelopment. We are providing housing opportunities for people. What we have done as a result of the issue that came to light when the state abandoned its obligation to inspect buildings with 4 units or above, we have created an ordinance that would now allow us to inspect these units, even though we don't have the responsibility. It is the responsibility of the State Department of Housing. But we have created an ordinance that would give us that authority to inspect on an odd-even number basis and to make sure that the situation that occurred a couple of years ago, where there was rain coming into the building, where plumbing wasn't working, electricity wasn't working, and there was so much hazard conditions, people's lives were in danger, and we hope we never ever have to go down that road again. So we're going to keep our eyes on the prize and make sure that we work with the state to have landlords honor their responsibilities.
Thank you. Mr. Wyatt?
Can you repeat the question?
What can your administration do in the future to prevent mass evictions from apartments like the ones we've seen the past couple of years?
Okay, yeah. So the ones that you're speaking about the last couple of years, West 7th Street, Arlington Avenue, Kensington Avenue, where residents were given 24 hours to be removed from the property. Those residents didn't have anywhere to go. They had children, didn't have any food. And where was the mayor? At City Hall. Until the news showed up. Over and over again. Code enforcement. You just spoke about an ordinance that was passed. That was passed over a year ago. And you said in front of the governing body, and we agreed and passed that each apartment building will be inspected every year. To date, I asked this question, how many of the apartment buildings have been inspected? And then the answer, I'll wait for that because I know it is 0. So you cannot say that the response is there's a housing shortage, and to stop the mass evictions going on, we're building housing. People cannot afford the housing. If they can't afford where you're staying, you cannot say we're going to build more housing. It's $3,200 for a 2-bedroom. So when you walk around and you knock on doors now, so when you talk to the people, connect to the people, it's a brother here that lives in Indianapolis right now. I spoke to people in Indianapolis that also live in Plainfield. You know what they said? I can no longer afford to live in the city of Plainfield. So yes, New Jersey may have a shortage of housing, but Plainfield does not have to solve New Jersey's problem. Code enforcement, make sure that they're enforcing the codes. We were embarrassed that people were put out. It was on the ABC News. You had to wear that, but you hold yourself accountable. You actually went to court as well and said it's the state's fault. And what did they say to us?
Thank you, Mr. Wyatt.
The city hands is not clean. Every time it's an issue,
Mr. Wyatt, thank you. We have another question for you right now. Plainfield was once the place where all surrounding towns came to shop for clothing, dine, and go out for pleasure. Also, we have major food chains. What are you doing to bring this type of development to Plainfield?
Well, I can tell you what we're doing. We have aggressively been pursuing...
Excuse me, that's Mr. Wyatt.
Oh, I'm sorry. thought you said me, I'm sorry.
She said the next thing. Yeah, so what could be done is instead of incentivizing the developers, we have to now say, you know what? We have to start incentivizing the businesses to come here. So I spoke about this a little bit earlier when we walked around downtown. And I knock on people's doors to ask these questions. 2 questions. Is date night where you're going to eat? The second question is where do you grocery shop? So if we're going to be serious about growing our economy, then we have to say, you know what? We have to start going after these businesses. First, investing in the businesses that are here and attracting the businesses that we need. And that can stem from providing rental assistance to the store owners, permit fee waivers for the store owners, and also Plainfield Bucks. Plainfield Bucks is a program in my administration that we will launch, which will be a reward system that encourages local shopping. And also, if you hire locally, then you will receive tax incentives as well. So we have to just change the vision here and say, you know what, it's time to start bringing in businesses to circulate dollars within our community. Because for 12 years, South Avenue used to be called Restaurant Row. Now it's not. We don't have anywhere to go dining. There's nowhere. We do have some good restaurants downtown that people frequent. But when you ask people that question over and over again, they start telling you they spend their money outside of town. Where do you grocery shop? I go to South Plainfield. I go to Washington. No, we need to have those things right here in the city of Plainfield. We deserve those things. The taxes that we are paying, we deserve to have those nice things. Our downtown should be nicely lit. It should be clean. It should be welcoming. When people say, I'm going to spend my Thursday or my Friday downtown.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Matt, would you want me to repeat it or?
My administration has been laser focused on diversifying the shopping experience for the people that live here, which is the reason why we have hired a retail consultant to help us identify those experiences that people want to have. Just recently, we had our retail consultant, as well as members of the team, go shopping to identify some of those experiences that people want to have. And we have done studies. In order for us to attract the kinds of stores that we want in the city and in our downtown, the population has to be there to support those stores. If you build it, they will come. And these major stores, they do studies to make sure that it's a place where they can invest and see a return on that investment. And so you need to put traffic in order to support the kind of business that you want to have in your community. This is the reason why these mixed-use apartments, creating the foot traffic is so critically important. That is how we're going to be able to attract the retail and supermarket experiences that we all want to have. And so we have invested in a retail consultant with the support of the governing body to help us identify some of those experiences that the residents want to have, and they will come. We will bring them here.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Matt, what plans do you have to lower taxes in Plainfield? Why do you have the Citizens Budget Advisory Council and not always apply any of the recommendations?
Is that for me, Ms. Donna?
Yes.
Okay. The notion that we don't apply any of the recommendations from the CPAC is just totally false. Recommendations are incorporated into the final product that you receive. And I think a part of the question is, what plans do we have to lower taxes?
Yeah, it says, and not apply. The first part is, what plans do you have to lower taxes in Plainfield?
Well, I can tell you that in 3 out of the last 5 years, we have introduced budgets with a 0% tax increase, and as a matter of fact, even better than that, in each of those years, there was a tax reduction. So our residents are able to keep money on the municipal side in their pockets. We are responsible for municipal taxes, and our taxes have been very stable over the last 6 years, with 3 years of a no tax increase budget. So we are doing right by the people of the city, unlike my opponent who went to the microphone and applauded a proposed 36% tax increase by the Board of Education. Now, is that a tax plan that anyone can get behind? Absolutely not.
Okay, Mr. Wyatt.
Yes, once again, I ask you to stop being disingenuous and lying to the people. You know the truth. You know that video was edited. You know the truth. We had the conversation. You know, you spent $60,000 to put that commercial out to lie to the people. So, to the question, the CBAC is each council person, each member of the governing body is able to select a person to represent them to ask the administration questions, and they give them recommendations. The reason that the reason that they don't listen to the recommendations is because of the one Plainfield, one future, one way. The incumbent does not like the answer no. He doesn't like anything that is not, if he says this is what it's going to be, he doesn't want to hear anything else about it. So it's almost like a formality, and I feel sorry sometimes for the people who spend many of the hours reading the budget book and crunching the numbers and say, hey, we can cut here, let's ask this. Can we cut here? We can do this, we can do that. And for them to submit that, and then for it to just still go through as it was presented the first time. In order to lower taxes, like I said earlier, rates, we need to bring in businesses here to the city of Plainfield, and rather than building apartments over apartments over apartments, we need to start building houses so people can contribute to the tax base. And we have a large population as well that are on Section 8. There's programs in place that we can convert Section 8 vouchers into mortgages. So we need to start also looking at that so we can start creating generational wealth for our residents here. That's the type of planning and policies that you need in place in order to lower taxes
All right,
for our
thank you.
community.
This last question now, and this is also about taxes, so you can talk more about that if you like. Question is, how would you adjust city level taxes or spending without negatively impacting essential services or triggering a tax increase elsewhere?
What's it for?
Yeah, can you repeat that again?
Sure. How would you adjust city level taxes or spending without negatively impacting essential services or triggering a tax increase elsewhere?
Okay, yes. So you do it for resident audit. So like the CBAC does, when we have community members go over the budget, you do it for resident audit. Outside of that, rather than paying for consultants to let us know what stores that we need and the shopping experience that we need to create, talk directly to the residents. There's money right there that we can save. Start investing in our local entrepreneurs and giving them the resources that they need in order to bring businesses in. That's how you bring taxes down. But in every budget, they hide money. It's called protecting you from yourself. So if you do it for resident audit and say, you know what, we don't need this amount of money allocated for this department, then take that money and allocate it somewhere else. And that's how you lower the taxes and make sure that the services are still in place.
Mr. Matt?
I can't believe that my opponent just sat here and say that wasn't him on the video when he stood up at that microphone and made those remarks, and he has the unmitigated temerity to say that wasn't him and that was edited. Any one of you in the audience could go, you can Google that, you can get it off YouTube, you can ask the school district for a copy of the tape. That was him asking the members of the Board of Education to applaud themselves, give themselves a round of applause for the great job that you have done here tonight in proposing to raise people's taxes by 36%. And you want to sit here and say that was edited? Come on, be truthful, be honest. You can't be a leader and don't want to take responsibility.
Answer the question. Please.
Yes, I will, she just asked me that, I want to answer that. So, and to be honest, and you know this as well,
Mr. Wyatt, please, 30 seconds.
There's no rebuttal. There's no rebuttal.
Well, I'm sorry, but
And since I was interrupted, should you repeat the question?
okay, you know what, guess what, we're done.
Okay.
That's it. Now you can start with your closing. You can start with the 2-minute closing.
So you're denying me a part of my time to respond.
You asked the question, sir. I asked you. You want me to repeat it?
Yes, repeat. I didn't see the part below.
Okay, we're going to do a closing here.
All right.
Mr.
All right.
Matt goes first.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
I can say to all of the people in this audience and to the people of Plainfield, that I have served as your mayor for the last several years. And we have brought the city from a very dark place to where it is today, where we have attracted close to $2 billion in economic reinvestment, where we have driven crime down, where we have attracted people from our surrounding communities into our city, where we have changed the perception of neighboring towns about Plainfield not being a safe place, where we have invested in recreation, creating wholesome opportunities for every person that lives here, from the baby to our active older adults. We have rebuilt our infrastructure. We've invested about $7 million in citywide free Wi-Fi. And by September, every park, every public space, the pedestrian plaza, they will all have free Wi-Fi. And phase 3 will have free Wi-Fi in every home across the city of Plainfield at no cost to the residents, and it will be high-speed access to the internet. We have done what the people have elected us to do. And if we want to continue the forward progress that had been started under my administration, I ask the people of Plainfield on June 10th to re-elect me as your mayor, because I am a proven leader with experience, with the educational qualification, with the certification of a certified municipal financial officer, a CPA, an MBA, a QPA, all of the letters of the alphabet. So I am best qualified to lead this city. I have experience, I have lived experience, I have professional experience, and I ask you, June 10th, make sure you vote for me. 1E. Adrian Matt, Mayor.
Plainfield is at a crossroads. After over a decade of the same leadership, we have to ask ourselves, are we truly better off or just being told we're better? Development has skyrocketed, but who is it really serving? Promises have been made, but progress has been selective. And while spotlight has often been focused on press releases and ribbon cuttings, too many residents feel left in the dark. This campaign is not about personal ambition. It's about public accountability. It's about building a city where the benefits of progress don't stop at campaign contributions, but reach every block, every family, and every resident. It's about restoring dignity to leadership and rejecting the idea that one man or one circle holds all the answers. Too many of us, if not all, I'm not here to manage perceptions, I'm here to produce results. I believe in a Plainfield where transparency is the standard, not a campaign promise, where decisions are made with, not for the people, and where the next chapter of our city is written by all of us, not just a select few behind closed doors. Too many of us, if not all, have had to make a settlement in life. But you don't have to settle for this. You don't have to settle for unchecked overdevelopment that erases our city's character. You don't have to settle for a declining quality of life, or for living in fear as if we serve a cruel king in a dictatorship. You don't have to accept a city where dollars don't circulate in our community, where our homeless population is left behind, and where long-time residents can't afford to stay. And you certainly don't have to settle for a city where our artists, creatives, and entrepreneurs don't have spaces and places where they can just be, where their talents, visions, and businesses can thrive and contribute to the soul of this city. We witnessed the shortcoming for 12 years. Don't be fooled by the all-of-a-sudden effort. As God is nice saying, neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. Well, on June 10th, we have the opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for 31 years of public service, 12 of them as the mayor. Thank you for the good you have done for our city. But we have it from here. Mayor Matt, goodbye. Vote Richard White on June 10th, 2 years.
One of the ways we encourage informed and active participation in government. Your participation tonight helps us carry out our mission. For those that were unable to attend our forum in person tonight, encourage your Plainfield friends and family to subscribe and watch a recording of this forum on the Plainfield Legal Women Voters YouTube channel, Tap Into Plainfield YouTube channel, and follow us on our Facebook page League of Women Voters of Plainfield. The League of Women Voters welcomes men and women. If you're interested in this local organization, comment on our Facebook page or send us an email to lwvnjplainfield@gmail.com. Regarding voting for this election, registered voters can apply for a vote-by-mail ballot by following instructions found on votenj.gov or unioncountyvotes.com. Additional voting information can also be found on vote411.org. In-person early voting is an option that enables all registered voters to cast their ballots in person using a voting machine from June 3rd to June 8th. In-person early voting hours are 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on weekdays and Saturdays, and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sundays at 7 locations in Union County. You can also vote at your polling place on Election Day, June 10th, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. There are plenty of options available to you to ensure your vote is counted. Thank you for joining us, and good night. Outside the auditorium with their campaign materials, feel free to have discussions, comments with them. We'll be here until 9:15. Thank you.